Want to learn how you can go from looking like this to looking like this? Welcome to part 2 of my makeup tutorial. If you missed part 1, go to my channel now where I show you the skin prep side of it. For today's makeup tutorial, these are some of the products we'll be using. We'll discuss them in detail as we go throughout. This section deals with blocking the brows and the base layer foundation. Here we're using 70% alcohol to clean the brows before blocking them. It's important to get nice clean brows ahead of time so that the glue sticks really well and the makeup applies to them very well. Here we're using a glue stick to get a lot of glue in there to really stick them down well. We're using a mascara spoolie to brush them straight. You want to brush them up, get them really flat here, and go in the direction of the brows. So you'll see that we're going up here and then to the side, closer to the edges. We're using the handle of the spoolie to really pat them down and get them really flat. And then we're going in again with more glue to make sure that we get them really flat. So keep repeating this process until the brows are really, really flat. Again here, using the handle to really smush those brows down and get them as flat as possible. You don't want to have any hairs that are sticking up, so you want to make sure that you really look at them from the side and make sure you don't have any hair sticking up. Here you can see that the brows are really flat. And now we are cleaning up around the edges of the brows with some alcohol to get rid of any excess glue. So we're using a Q-tip here and some alcohol. And here you can see that the brows are now really flat. We have a bunch of translucent powder here. You want to get get a lot in there. Put a lot on your brows, and we're going to brush away any excess and just let that set. So the powder is going to set those brows. Here we're applying some primer. This is primer from e.l.f. And what primer does is it makes the makeup stick better to the skin. It applies a little bit of a sticky layer so that the makeup sits better on the skin. So now that we've primed our face, we are going to conceal that beard. Here we're using a mix of colors from a Kryolan palette. We're getting a pinkish color here, and we're applying it all over the beard area to conceal. The mix of colors that you use will depend on the color of your beard and what you're concealing. But here we're using a pinkish tone. It's a mix of orange and some other colors. And now we are using a beauty blender to blend in the edges. We're only blending the edges here. We're not going over the beard part. We're just blending the edges in because you don't want to remove any of that concealer or color corrector. Now we're using the same color corrector from Kryolan on the eyebrows to color correct the eyebrows so that no color from the eyebrows shows through. So we're covering up there, and then we're going to go in as well again with a beauty blender to blend out the edges. Again, we're only blending the edges here, not the actual concealed part. Now here we are going in with an Hourglass concealer. This is a cedar varnish tone. And we're going over the eyelids, the brows, and the forehead here, just to further conceal this area. And also it's a bit of a lighter shade, so it's going to provide some highlighting in this area as well. And again, we are going to blend that out around the edges. And we're going to apply some powder here to set it in place. Here we're just going to let it set. Now we're just wiping away any excess powder here, and we're ready to go with the foundation. Here we're using a neutral tone, a fair neutral tone Covering the whole face, this is a foundation from House Labs by Lady Gaga. We're applying this all over the face to get that foundation layer. And just blending it all in, making sure it's all nice and smooth. Applying it everywhere. And now we're going to apply some contour. This is a dark contour. It comes from the Makeup Forever HD Skin Palette. And we're applying it to the cheekbone area, to the forehead, the sides of the forehead, and also to the jawline. So we want to give the illusion here of a slimmer face. And by applying it to the jawline, it's going to soften the jawline a bit and really contour those cheekbones and make the forehead look smaller too by contouring the forehead area. So these are the areas you can see where we have applied contour, and then we blended it out after applying it. Here we're applying a blush. This is NARS Liquid Blush with the color Orgasm. We're going for a pink look here, so this is a pink blush from NARS Liquid Blush Orgasm color. And now we're just preparing the eyes, and you'll see the rest of the eye makeup in part 3. So be sure to stay tuned for part 3 of this series. We'll cover eye makeup. Follow us so you don't miss any of it.